Hello, welcome to the video for what is the material, the subtract node. Let me go ahead and pull up my example here and show you how it works. We have this little cube, we've got this little blue heart with a little dark blue border around the outside. Now what we're actually doing is using a subtract node to subtract a white box and a red heart together to actually give us our output, which is this blue heart with a darker blue border around the outside. So subtract, basically, if you're using it for texture, takes each of the channels, the red, green, blue, and alpha, subtracts the values, and then gives you the result. So in this one, we're basically going to remove all the red from our original image, and we're going to end up with this image here. Subtract is usually used to darken colors or to offset UVs. And it's pretty simple. It's just basic math. So depending on what you have for your input and your output node is going to determine your result. Now, by default, your subtract node comes with two constants. You can use a constant for an input, or you can use a texture for an input. And depending on what you're using, determines your result. So for example, let's say I had this white plugged in to my A. And I'm subtracting 1 from it. Well, subtracting 1, which is basically pure white, from this image is going to subtract everything out of it. It's going to drop everything down to 0 or less, which is going to give me a black result. If we were to do the same by switching this, for example, you're going to see we have a pure blue result because we're subtracting 1 from all of these values, which means we're basically dropping out all of our red and any slight green, and we're going to get this white background with a blue heart. So subtract is a good way to remove maybe a mask or something like that from an image, or to adjust slightly the color ranges. You know, if we were to put in just red here, for example, you're going to see this is what it's going to subtract. And that's going to be our result. It's kind of a good way also to black and white an image, as you can see here, because we're basically subtracting 1, which is all the color from this channel, this red channel, and this is going to be our result. Kind of inverses it. Now keep in mind, it does not have to be a texture. It can be constants. So for example, if we plug in our constant nodes here, this is pretty simple. We're taking a 2, we're subtracting 1, and our end result is going to be 1, which is pure white. If we were to make this, for example, a 1, and we're subtracting 0.5, what we're going to do is end up with 0.5, which is going to give us a gray value for our output. We could even make it even more, maybe make a 0.8, and we're going to get a much darker gray color. So the subtract node, pretty simple to use, basically has an input and an output, and it subtracts the values. If you're using multiple inputs, like a texture where you have red, green, blue, alpha, or maybe you're using a constant like a 3, let's try this again, there we go, or a constant like 3, it's going to go ahead and apply that to the entire thing. So let's take a blue, and if we went and we subtracted 0.87 from the blue, we're going to end up subtracting most of the blue, and it's going to drop it down in color. So we subtract 0.87 from the red, gives us 0. 0.87 from the green, it's going to give us 0. 0.87 from the blue, it's going to give us, 0.13. And that's going to end up giving us a really dark blue, which you can see here. So that's how it works. That's a subtract node in a nutshell. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.